Hello, my name is Russell Myers. Welcome to Issues Unite. Well, I'm back, at least for the moment. All right, oh, first of all, uh, yeah, I've been gone for a while, mostly because of my work schedule and because of technical challenges that I've faced, including my laptop completely failing, and I had to reinstall Windows and everything else, and some of my files were at home, and some of my files, well, have just been in different places, and I made an error the last time that I was at home, and downloaded the files that I needed to the wrong external drive. Yes, I've got multiple external drives hooked up to my computer. Uh, I didn't have all my files with me. Anyway, uh, so here I am again. I've had somebody accuse me of having facial injections or using filters for my channel, and none of that is true. Um, if I were going to get facial injections, I'd go do something about the bags I've always had under my eyes and these indentations. Yes, I'll say wrinkles and my chin, and this indentation between my eyes. Uh, yes, this is my skin color, and what I have been doing is facial exercises that I devised myself, and they seem to be doing pretty good. Anyway, no filters, no injections, no nothing like that. All right, there's been a lot of talk, people saying that China is going broke, their economy is going to collapse. Is there any truth to this? And the very short, simple answer is no, absolutely not. Yes, China does have a lot of debt, but the first thing you need to understand is how China's economy is structured, how their debt is structured. With the United States, our debt is owed to other countries that buy U.S. treasuries, and to domestic banks, including the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is not a governmental department. It is uh, it's a cabal. It is a collection of private, for-profit banks. All right. So when the U.S. government owes debt, it is to external entities, and if we fail to pay on that debt, then it results in default. Compare this to China, which, yes, they sell bonds that are invested in by Chinese citizens. But most of their debt is held by Chinese banks, not external investors. So and most of the Chinese banks are state-owned entities. So what this amounts to is that China owes China. Most of their debt could be written off. Now, technically, you could call this a default, and it would definitely cause a major disruption, probably the collapse of a number of the banks. But overall, if they decided to just write off that debt, then it would not be a default in the same sense. It would be a reset of the debt. So this is a very big difference to understand. China owes China. The United States owes private entities and external foreign investors. So that's something to really understand. Most of China's debt, they can't really default on. Just a moment. The other thing to understand okay, what about GDP growth? So let me bring that up here. Okay. How am I doing this? Oops. All right. Just one moment. I'm having technical issues here. All right. Sorry for that little glitch there. Okay. So this is from the International Monetary Fund. And I want you to notice this here. China's economy is projected to grow by 5% in 2024 and 4.5% in 2025. These reflect upward revisions of 0.4 percentage points for both years compared to the April WEO projections, driven by strong Q1 GDP data and recent policy measures. Core inflation is expected to rise but stay low as output remaining below potential. Risks are tilted to the downside, including from greater or longer than expected property sector adjustment and increasing fragmentation pressures. The rest of this I'm not going to go into because it is basically trying to tell China to change their economic structure. Now let's compare this. Remember, 5% in 2024 GDP growth. The United States, what are we expected to have this year? And then again, from the International Monetary Fund, here we are. Projected real GDP growth, 2.6%. So, China has had a GDP growth going anywhere from 6% to 10% in recent years. So going to 5%, yes, that's a contraction compared to previous years. But they're still showing considerable growth, twice as much growth as the United States is projected to have this year. And our GDP growth, considering sanctions and tariffs and so forth, may well come in well below that 2.6%. So, no, China is not collapsing. They're not going to collapse. Remember the Belt and Road Initiative, which it continues to expand. They have built facilities, ports, and infrastructure in over 50 countries now. They are building, slated to open in November, a major port in Peru, which will open up trade for South America between them and China and other countries, including South America is a major source for lithium. I've got my own opinions about lithium. It's bad for the environment. It's chemically unstable. It's dangerous. But China's also trying to develop sodium-ion batteries. So I'm waiting to see just how well that develops. That would be far preferable. Anyway, but for current technology, lithium is the thing. Lithium is the new gold. And now Brazil has announced their intention to join the Belt and Road Initiative. Brazil is already part of BRICS. BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. So Brazil is the largest economy in South America. So this is a big development. They continue to expand trade, and even in their real estate sector, which has been a problem, that was caused mostly by the fall of Evergrande, which I heard 2-3 years ago was going to cause a complete collapse of the Chinese economy and cause an international contagion. 2-3 years later, I'm still waiting for that to happen. Guess what? It's not happening. So it's not going to. What has happened is that China had invested and showed a GDP growth because of massive subsidies for their real estate sector. But China considers residential property to be for living in, not for speculation. They don't care if hedge funds collapse. They will support their homeowners as opposed to the United States supporting the banks and, foreclosing and evicting, millions of people at a time. They will protect their people. That's a big difference. Anyway, so they have virtually stopped. They investing in the real estate sector and instead are subsidizing manufacturing, especially technology, electric vehicles, and with wonderful results. So there, you can stop, them from selling in the United States. You can put all kinds of tariffs on them and in Europe. But what you're winding up doing is causing problems for your own citizens and driving up the cost of products. A tariff is a tax on your own people. The United States, because of the 20% tariff imposed by Trump and sustained by Biden, the United States has lost an estimated 300,000 jobs and over $1 trillion from the stock market because of the 20% tariff on China, which now Trump wants to raise that to 60%, and Biden has expanded tariffs and sanctions on China, blah, blah, blah. So what happens is that you pay more even though you're not making more. So who's actually on the verge of going broke? It's not China. They continue to expand trade and expand the Belt and Road Initiative, and we continue to make more bombs. All right, so if there is a subject that you would like for me to cover, then leave it in the comments below, and I will try to get to it as soon as possible. I will respond to your suggestions. So at this point, share this video, talk about these subjects. If you can afford it, please donate whatever you can to help expand this channel and my presidential campaign, and I will catch you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a good day.